Radio, PowerReggae.com, Power Reggae Radio Show. Special guest in the house tonight, man with the golden touch, go with the moniker Goldy. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, first and foremost, I must say, greet in the name of the Most High, Jah, Rastafari, give thanks for inviting me. Well, I am Goldy, musician, producer, just music. Yeah, basically, so, I've been here making music in many different forms, I know I'm on the forefront as a vocalist,
Okay, once again, I introduced him as the man with the golden touch. And we're going to get into the reason why he carries that moniker Goldy, who gave him that moniker Goldy. But we've been listening to the last two records, Love is Conducive and Crushing Them.
Yeah.
Two records that you have on the road right now. We're going to get into that a little bit. But let's start off with the moniker, the name Goldy. Where does it come from? Where do you hail from as an artist?
Okay, well, Goldy hail from Kingston, Jamaica. I was born in the city, a place called Love Lane, Fletcher's Land community. That's where I hail from originally. And the name Goldy was given to me by a senior mentor of mine, Soji is also a recording engineer and mixing engineer, well known in the fields, yes,
exactly.
Engineering. So he was the one who, said, Goldy, and gave me that name because of that time I was an engineer and young in the game, and everything I did was like, some good work. Yeah, some good work. So he just said, you're Goldy.
Okay. Now, before we get into the two tracks once again that we played so far, we got lots more music to play to introduce you as a vocalist to the fans. But before we get to that, you mentioned that you received the moniker for having the golden touch in the studio as an engineer.
Yeah.
So, obviously, your musical background comes from the root with the production and the engineering of the music.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into it and who were some of your mentors that helped you become the engineer with the golden touch.
Well, my inspiration came from, quite a few people. But I have to credit like my brother before me, like he was the one that really stepped out there and was like doing engineering, working in the studios while we were going to school and things. Every evening when we left school, we would like check my big brother and thing down at one studio we call Record Factory, in Jamaica. Seeing, but it up on Agley Park Road at the time. So my big brother is a man, he was an engineer before me. He never really take it to the heights where I take it to because he moved away and started doing some other stuff and things. So yeah, and then the root. My father is also a reggae singer, ska reggae singer from in the 60s, 70s, been singing music. Yeah, I was just growing music, my uncles love music, everybody. So I was inspired in many ways, But my big brother would have to give the credit for like opening the door to show me that there was something called like engineering that you could do other than singing or, I didn't even know about producing, like as a younger boy,
Okay, so your first forte into the studio, your first steps into the studio, what was it like? Was it your older brother carrying you to the studio?
Nah. Yeah, my older brother left already, or he was, tending to his own thing. I was just like, out of school now and like at the crossroads, thinking, should I further education or should I like just do what I love or what I am aspiring to do? So, I left high school and I began like doing some evening classes, and in the evening when I was supposed to go to evening class, the further education, I decided no evening classes for me. I went to the studio. I was going to Cell Block Studio at the time where the owner of the studio, Seal Garden, was like a neighbor, so to say, and my neighbor was a neighbor of his. So the neighbor said, "Hey, this youth is interested in music and, you know what I mean, want to be an engineer, so I think you should take him on in the studio." And he said, "Okay, come." And that's it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I
Now,
started.
before we even get to you stepping into the studio and who you had a chance to work with, I want to ask you, who was your inspiration musically growing up, besides your father as a musician, besides your brother?
Yeah, well,
musically, who you heard?
Well, yeah. Professionally, like coming into the music, like I was like around Dennis Brown. He was like, you know, a father figure for me. He was like, you know, a person that was around, you know, to show I certain things and, you know what I mean, give I certain strength in, you know, music and certain things. So Dennis Brown was definitely, you know what I mean, a mentor and inspiration of mine, very close person to me, you know what I mean, very special person. Dennis Brown, he was the one who like took me to studio with him, and I went to the studio and studio sessions with like producers like Clive Hunt and, you know what I mean, like Tyrone Taylor and Freddie McGregor and Barris Hammond. I would be like around these people like from a young boy, like just hanging around with Dennis and like going to studios. So that's also where like I got the big idea that, you know, I like this thing, I should do this.
Okay, that's definitely as a young you, very great experience.
Yeah, very, very young at the time.
Okay, now you got your chance to step into the studio and go behind the board and be the engineer. What was the first experience like? Who were some of the artists that you got a chance to work with? Who gave you the shot to work with them?
Yeah, I work with like, well, at Cell Block Studio. Cell Block was like a popular studio at the time, like was, you know, getting a lot of bookings, yeah. It's a lot of bookings and a lot of work was being done there, a lot of recordings and mixing was being done at Cell Block. So you find that, you know, all of the artists and all of the producers used to come to that studio to, you know, book their studio time. So I used to work with like, you know what I mean, just about like everybody, you know what I mean. I worked with Luciano, you know what I mean, Terry Linen, Jackie Orr, Sean Paul, you know what I mean, Elephant Man, Rowan, you name it, you know, everybody and anybody, like, you know what I mean, everybody.
Okay, so you were able...
Bounty Killer, you know what I mean, all of the artists.
So you were able to...
Dancehall and reggae.
Dancehall and reggae and work with predominantly some of the biggest artists in the game.
Yeah.
As an engineer.
Yeah.
Now, you had that experience.
Yeah, I was working.
You basically grew up in the studio in amongst stars.
Yes.
When did you decide Goldy wanted to do more?
Well, from the beginning, I always wanted to like do the most, you know. Like always like to do, you know, just do everything. So like, you know, when I started engineering, I was like focusing on like learning the craft and taking it to a next level, like, you know, live mixing and, you know what I mean, we went on tours and, you know what I mean, we did the engineer thing and then you know what I mean, I was like, I need to like produce. Like I was like, you know, I'm cool with all the artists and, you know what I mean, they showed me a lot of love, so we started producing, you know what I mean, and I produced some songs with like Richie Spice, Turbulence, a lot of reggae artists at the time, like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so when you say producing, were you actually at that point in time, did you move on to actually building rhythms yourself?
Nah, like, mostly like to like arrange
it.
Yeah,
okay.
and like, you know, executively, you know what I mean?
You put it together.
Yes.
Okay. Another...
Like, I started a label, you know what I mean, and started...
Okay, we gonna get into that. So, this is another learning tool that you picked up, arranging music, producing music.
Yes.
You started a label.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the purpose of you starting a label? Was it to put out the popular artists that you were working with, or did you want to take younger artists in your musical direction?
Yeah, well, both. You know what I mean? We were working like with a lot of younger artists at the time, like Richie Spice and Turbulence. They were like upcoming artists, but then you also had like a few established artists working also, just like Luciano.
What was the name of the label?
That label was We Did Records. That was like a joint production label between me and a friend of mine. So we produced like a few songs on that label, and then that label like went dormant. And then I started my own label again after that, which was like Undeniable Records. And I put out some music on that label, and you know, it kind of like went to sleep for a bit. And then I came back with Strike Gold music that I released the song with me and Chronics now, that song, the mini song.
Okay, now let me stop you for a minute, because now we're gonna forte into you coming to the forefront being a vocalist. But before we do that, we're gonna get into some new music. We're gonna come back and start talking about Goldy, the vocalist.
Upstream.
Power Reggae Radio, powerreggae.com.
Power Reggae Radio. Upstream. Yeah.
That last record that we just played, Rasta Holiday, we gonna start with that. We're gonna go back through the last 3 tracks that we played besides that. But on Rasta Holiday, off the top of my head, listening to the track,
Yeah.
based on what you said so far in the interview, I felt like that track in particular may have been inspired by your father. It has like a ska feeling to it.
Yeah.
But let's get into it, and you tell the listeners about Rasta Holiday and how the track came
It's
about.
very easy. Rasta Holiday, this song as I heard, you know, in Father German just the microphone and said, you know, it's a nice rendition. You know what I mean? So this song is an original song done by a group 10cc. You know what I mean? And I stumbled across it and I just like it as a reggae song, and I remake it. So this is a cover version.
Okay, it's a cover version.
Yeah, you know,
The
and
rhythm.
just with a little bit more of arrangements and few little extra splash and dash.
Tell us a little bit about that rhythm.
Not just simply that we just went in the studio and we just added like a few different and speed it up a bit, and you know what I mean? Nothing too major. Just a little bit more speed.
Okay,
And a few maybe an extra guitar.
Rasta Holiday.
Yeah.
Now, we already getting feedback in the studio about that particular tune. From
Yes.
some of the DJs. They feeling it. Johnny's over there, he wanna play it again. He's gonna have to wait
Yeah,
until we
give
go
thanks.
off.
Give thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, after the interview, we're gonna give the listeners a chance.
Yeah,
Johnny's
Johnny
gonna
go
play
figure.
2,
Johnny
3
go
times. But it has a nice feel to it. We're gonna be rocking to that one.
True, true.
Then.
Yeah, give thanks.
So that's track number 1 that we're gonna discuss.
Yeah,
The next one,
that's the first track from the EP, Beware of Bad Lion, that I'm here promoting tonight.
okay. So we're gonna let the listeners know a little bit more about the EP moving forward. But the first track we played before we, after we went to
From the break, yeah.
Red Eyes.
I read.
My personal favorite now.
Yeah.
So I read a tune for the
I read, you know, it's a tune for the herbalists there,
yes.
you know, all activists of this plant, marijuana, you know what I mean? All herb activists and herb users, you know what I mean? Whether you bake it and eat it, or you smoke it, or you boil it and drink it. You
And
know what I mean?
the rhythm went way to the root side.
Yeah, well, that is a Strike Gold production again, Strike Gold music that's produced by me. You know what I mean? This song was also, you know what I mean, mixed by me. And
Nice.
yeah, this is a compilation. This track, this rhythm, have various artists on it. You know, we have a few artists on that track.
Oh,
also.
so this one in particular is a rhythm.
Yeah, this track I read is from a compilation that Strike Gold Music also put out called Gold Rush Rhythm.
Gold Rush.
Yeah, with 13 tracks on it featuring, you know, a lot of
So
reggae
now the
artists.
Gold Rush Rhythm, apart from the EP, the Gold Rush Rhythm, is it available online now?
Yeah, it's available online, iTunes, Spotify, you know, all the digital mediums that there is. It's distributed by Zodiac Worldwide,
Nice.
you know, online.
Okay. And earlier, when we started off, before we started off the interview, Love is Conducive,
Yes.
a track that had the ladies in the studio. They was moving to that one.
Yeah, you know, that is the motto of Rastafari. You know, love. When you see I and I as Rastafari children, you know what I mean, and followers of Rastafari, that is what we should, you know, push forward, love. So we just continue to beat the message that in the people, them, you know, love. Let them know that love is good for each and everyone, you know.
Okay. So now, we moving into Goldy as the vocalist now. We've heard a couple of your tracks so far. These tracks all come together on an EP.
Yes.
What is the name of the EP once again for the listeners?
The EP is called Beware of Bad Life, you know, produced by Strike Gold Music, yeah, distributed by Zodiac Worldwide.
Okay, that's a big connection in the digital reggae world right there. So I see you're putting in your work. Shout out to Zodiac. The name of the EP. Let's delve into the EP so far. The name of the EP. How did that come about?
Well, you know, I mean, it's just like a inspiration, like a vibe, like was there, and like, you know, it kind of like come off of, you know, me myself, like, you know, in like, not to say like bad in a negative connotation, but like, you know what I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, when the lion is sleeping, you must not wake him. So, you know what I mean, I consider I and myself a lion, you know what I mean, treading in this concrete jungle and things. So, we are saying, you know what I mean, beware of this music that is to come, you know what I mean. So just beware of the bad lion and all this bad music, is it?
Okay.
Sure.
Now, we're going to get back into some of the bad music. And one of the tracks that anybody getting familiar with Goldy, the artist, one of the tracks that is a standout, it happens to be a track that you have featuring one of the young kings of reggae right now,
True.
Chronix.
Yeah.
Before we play that track, entitled The Mini Song, tell us about how it came about and how you actually got Chronix to get on the track with a young artist, Goldy.
Yeah, well, Chronix is and was at the time a young artist himself, you know what I mean? At the time, you know what I mean, Chronix was like an apprentice of mine, you know what I mean, that came around, you know what I mean, to learn engineering and things. So he was like there with me for some time, and I was like teaching him some of these things that I know, you know what I mean? So we were there together. I have this idea in my head for like 40 years, you know what I mean? Cause this song, the mini song, is a song done by my father, you know, Willie Francis. Big up our ends. Yeah man, you see me? Done by my father, Willie Francis. So I just like, I sit down with Chronix one day. I have the idea a long time, as me I tell you, and you know, I was trying to create it. So Chronix was around, you know, and he wasn't there, you know what I mean, making beats and doing engineering with us. So, you know, we decided, at least I decided, you know, make him try to create the thing, and we give him the idea, and long and short of the story, you know what I mean, we create the beat, you know, from the loop of my father's song and thing, and it wasn't even a song for Chronix or me, actually, to sing. I was just doing my production thing and just producing a song, so I was making this song for an artist to sing. Preferably I was trying to get, you know, Sean Paul to sing that song, and I was trying to get like Egyptian, you know what I mean, them kind of artists I like, and you know what I mean, it proved to be a very difficult task, because everybody was so busy and you know what I mean, you know, them own little affairs, so it kind of did stretch out, and then now Chronix did start sing. Just start sing now, little bit after that, and start sound good and thing. And I say, you know, say, yeah, sound, you sing and yeah, sound good, so, yeah, you know, say, come like I can come sing that song then.
So this is one of the diamonds in the rough. It's a young Goldy and a young Chronix coming together.
Natural, yeah, that's how it happened.
The inspiration once again came from your father, which is a beautiful thing. Power Reggae Radio, powerreggae.com, TGM Radio. Yes, yes. Goldy featuring Chronix, the mini song. Is that song also available? Is that song on the EP or is it just available as a single online?
Yeah, it's kind of a single. It's not on the EP. That's a single. That's my first song
Okay.
as a vocalist.
But it's also available online for the
Yes,
listeners?
available. Zodiac, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon.
Okay. You seem very savvy with the digital era.
Yeah, I try to be. You know what I mean? I think I could be better, but you know what I mean?
Okay, well,
I'm getting there.
Let's talk about the digital hemisphere and where Goldy falls in line on the digital, I'm saying, scene. As far as social media and the listeners trying to reach out to Goldy, find out a little bit more about you, is it a website or are you on social media? Where can the listeners find you?
Well, yeah, I'm on some of the social medias, not really on all of them. I'm on Instagram at Strike Gold Straight. That's STRIKEGOLD and I'm on Facebook as Goldy Undeniable. That's me on Facebook, and Twitter at Gold Strike 45. And yeah.
Okay. Well, once they find you on Instagram, they go find you on Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram. That's where you find me. That's me right there. Strike Gold Straight.
Okay, now you're online. Is it a website that the listeners could reach out and
No,
find
there's
some
no
of your music?
website currently.
Okay. YouTube. Do you have any visuals out for the EP?
Yeah,
that you
I'm
currently
on
have?
YouTube also. Yeah.
What visuals you have out for songs on the EP? So
Oh well, there's a video for the collaboration between me and Chronix
nice.
on YouTube, and they got a video for I Read, and I also got another video. I got a few videos up on YouTube. There.
What's the YouTube page?
My YouTube page is Goldy's Music. Goldy Music.
Okay, Goldy Music on YouTube
Yeah.
to see the visuals that the artist is putting out right now.
Yeah.
We also have the EP, Beware of the Bad Lion.
On YouTube, all over.
YouTube, Spotify, all digital mediums. We have some more music to play, but what we like to do is we like to run with it.
Okay.
I'm saying at some point during the interview, and let the artist do his thing. Let the listeners hear the talent in the studio.
Straight up.
So Johnny's gonna find something. We gonna get to that part. But before we touch on that, the Way of the Bad Line is also available. You have another track, No War.
Yes.
That's the latest track that you have bubbling.
Yeah, that's
Well,
my.
What's the
latest
plans
hit.
for No War?
Well, there's a video in the plan, and you know what I mean. Also, like to just go down and like do some press releases on it, like press media interview to say that it's out, and you know what I mean, just.
Any shows
Mainly
you have
video.
coming up? And any shows you have coming up that the listeners could come out and look forward to?
Nah, I've been away for a minute, so I'm finishing up my promotion here in the America, and then I will be like heading to Jamaica. I spoke to like Rebel Salute, but there's nothing like confirmed as yet. So my people need to get back to them, and then I will know. But for now, no shows.
Okay, so for now, you're basically working on promoting the EP. It's
Yeah,
available
that's
now.
where I'm at. Yeah.
Beware of the Bad Line once again. That's
And
it.
also, I'm always producing, even when I'm promoting my own stuff. I always have like a project working on with some artists coming up. So I got like a project that I'm looking to release soon. It's called The Mad Thugs. You know, that's a compilation rhythm again. And after that, I feel like I'm gonna be finished with compilations for a bit. You know.
Okay, and apart from the digital distribution coming via Zodiac, is the music coming out on your own label?
Yeah, that's my label. Strike Gold Music. That's
Strike Gold Music. So you can look him up online. Once again, the artist Goldy, Strike Gold Music. Look out for the label. Look out for the compilations. Look out for the EPs out now. beware of the bad line. What we're gonna do is, before we give you that rhythm, we're gonna give the listeners one more track.
The latest release.
The latest. The visuals coming out soon. No War.
Yeah, this song is produced by Rally Up Music from Oakland, California.
Okay.
So yeah, big up
Shout
Rally
out
Up
to the West
Music.
Coast. TGM Radio, Power Reggae Radio, PowerReggae.com. Look out for that video upcoming soon. Is that one also on the EP?
No, that's not. That's a single.
Another single, another new single coming.
Yeah. That's
No
a single.
War.
That's already out.
Okay. So you can pick it up now on digital mediums worldwide, entitled No War. The production once again came from
Rally Up Music,
Rally Up Music.
Oakland, California.
Yes. As I was saying to you during the break, while we was playing the record, Rally Up Music, we need a dub version of that record because
Don't it?
the bass
Yeah, Rally Up
wicked.
dub version.
Wicked. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we start working?
Yeah, most definitely. I don't know. We have to big up the whole team. We have to shout out to my brethren, Frostan, big artist in that place. I don't know. Studio Yard Music. We have to big up Rally Up Music. And we have to Strike Wall Music. I have to the whole of the family in Brooklyn, you know. Big up Ragalax and the whole team, you know what I mean? The Ras, you know what I mean? The whole of Brooklyn, the whole of Queens, the whole of New Jersey, you know what I mean? Irvington, everywhere. Straight across the board. You don't know, we not forget Jamaica, Kingston. Big up Jamaica and the whole world. Yeah, man.
Once again, the artist Goldy in the studio. Beware the Bad Line is available now. The new single No War is available now. The classic single, the mini song featuring Chronix, is also available. Check him out on YouTube. Check him out on Instagram.
Upstream.
What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna give you a rhythm and let you tune out the listeners with your talent. Once again, the man of multi-phases, multi-talents in this music, the engineer, the producer, the vocalist, Goldy himself, who's a pleasure.
Give thanks.
PowerReggae.com, Power Reggae Radio.
Give thanks. Go off reggae radio. Go off reggae. Yeah. Rhythm truck. I am sad golden. Hey, Frostan, no one tell them something. Sit down. And I want the people them to know the time. I am meditate cause I am blind. When them want to set me up, but we go mash it up. Because we not got to get on a slide. Upstream. Sauce. Yeah man, I don't know. Give thanks and praise for life. King Selassie and the Almighty without apology. Rastafari, hear me out. So me go so Billy Lim. Mr. Lim, I go batter them. So me go so Billy Lim. Good music, I go pressure them. So me go so pressure them. And come make we go trample them. Trample them. Hands like of them trap again. Them the want the people them feel know the time. I am meditate cause I am blind. They them want to set me up, but I go mash it up. Because we not got to get on a slime. Them the want the people them feel know them rights. Stand up for your justice and not for your rights. And don't make them tie you out or buy you out. Now give me the freedom to make me choice. Them can't get them heads from out of me head. And them can't put no rotten head in a me bread. And them can't get me princess to show them no leg. And them can't put no dirty scissors in a me trade. When they see them up face them a jump up again. And them talk a little piece be a dirty crackhead. And them talk a bigger piece be a man with shot head. And them get a large fire from a lone rapid. Well I am meditation, give me the revelation. Now make no demons train me meditation. Me woman and no pagan, papa and no Satan. Nothing can brainwash this a generation. Tell them on the wrong generation, them go wrong with. Now put no 666 in a me forehead. Now make no Delilah girl with them on forehead. Put no goddamn poison on me porridge. People them feel know the time. I am meditate cause I am blind. I am an upstream. Power Reggae Radio. fire time. The herb bust up the root, the plant, the shoot, well that a graze from the farmer. All man tell me about them clip where a banana. Biggest one still a see bust a lightning and thunder. I sat my rock and Congo cast them asunder. Hey! Them men get another sound them me under. Hey Vatican them just a feed a plunder. You're the one that bigger than George Bush. Put together with the hammer from the earth. Can't put up the body armor. Me sister them a hype, both them guns with them a bust. Only gun me bust. Emperor Selassie I the bust. With them guns with them a bust. But when the one a bust me come fi bust it back all who unjust. Them a hype, both them guns with them a only gun me bust. King Emmanuel and Marcus shower with them guns with them a bust. But when the one a bust me come fi bust it back all who unjust. Reds, we not play with it now. Let me stay with it. Yo, we roll and we roll the whole day with it. And check fear with it. And I play with it. I'll on the stage show me still a DJ with it. Go shite, me not laugh with it. Hey, me not joke with it. Me come fi burn out the queen and the pope with it. Me make her race with it, tie race with it. Then me go put a lightning ball up in them judgment face with it. Them I hold them gun to them bust. Only gun me upstream. Yeah man, you don't know power reggae radio. Was a pleasure, you know. It's constant praise again to the Most High for all things, you know. And the good and the bad. You know what I mean? Just learn from the bad, you know. And don't have to know more bad. Continue to do good, you know, and show love. Rastafari.
Yes.